2.5 million light years away lies the Andromeda Galaxy. Within this galaxy are two arms. One is known as the Ariadne Arm. Among the outer reaches is a star referred to as 4546. The first planet found orbiting the star was named 4546b. This celestial body is an ocean world, a planet covered entirely in water save for a few scattered islands. The water is inhabited by alien flora and fauna of various odd shapes and sizes. We will be primarily looking at two areas of this planet, the crater and Sector 0. In these zones, many types of life exist, but there's one class of creature different from the rest. The true rulers of the sea. The Leviathans. Gigantic creatures that prowl the ocean for their next meal. Leviathans have existed for over 3 million years. Ancient fossils we have found showed that while current Leviathans are humongous, they used to be far larger creatures. Some estimated to reach 1,300 meters in length compared to the biggest of today. The skull reaches 100 meters in length, while the rest of the found skeleton measures at 402 meters. It's believed we have only seen a third of the full skeleton. This skeleton implies the Leviathan was eel-shaped and an apex predator due to its size. Even as far back as 1 million years ago, Leviathan-class beings were humongous. The skull and spine of one was found and measures 95 meters in size. This skull is heavily armored and likely needed the extra armor. The oceans during this time period would have to be extraordinarily different than they currently are to support life as large as this, or the previous fossil. This would cause far more Leviathan-sized creatures than can currently be found. The gap between its teeth is wide enough for a human to swim through. We have been unable to find the rest of the skeleton. The last hint of this era we have is the frozen Leviathan. A deceased Leviathan-class creature found frozen within a large wall of ice. The frozen Leviathan is built with a broad body, 4 limbs, and a long tail. This species is one of the largest seen to have lived on 4546b, much like the other extinct Leviathans. Running from just behind the shoulders to near the end of the tail is a row of large overlapping plates, which gradually decrease in size as they move towards the tail. The tail is flattened and longer than the entire body. The tip is larger to assist with propulsion. The mouth is filled with thin, long teeth, 34 in the lower jaw and 40 in the upper. The long, thin teeth resemble those of large piscivorous animals, so the creature's diet was likely to compose of much smaller creatures than itself. Behind the mouth on each side is a large bony plate which shoots straight forwards from the head. With their highly muscular limbs, this creature was capable on land. Due to the creature's size, it is unlikely to have hunted on land, possibly only coming ashore to rest. Marine biologists believe the Leviathan fell through the ice. It can be assumed it had come ashore to sleep and then broke through. The smallest of the modern Leviathans is the Sea Treader, a 20-foot bipedal creature that roams the Grand Reef and the Sea Treader's path with its children encircled by the adults. Sea Treaders are typically docile until someone approaches the pack, causing the Sea Treader to swing its snout. While the front of the Sea Treader looks like a third leg, it is actually an elongated snout used to siphon plant materials and provide balance. Due to the damage siphoning does to the local fauna, the pack has developed a migratory behavior. The front of their heads consists of 2 sets of eyes, along with 2 antennae that stretch to the hindquarters underneath the Sea Treader. These antennae detect a range of scents, helping the Sea Treaders to find fresh grazing pastures, avoid the path of larger predators, and sense chemical signals from others of their kind. The carapace above the back end of the antenna is layered with thick armor strong enough to withstand attacks from all but the strongest of carnivores. This armor, along with the rest of the Leviathan, is colored blue with bioluminescent orange spots. The Reefback is massive in size, reaching roughly 70 meters. Most of the creature's body is a thick, dark blue carapace. Beneath its carapace, it is dark green with light blue bioluminescent stripes on the sides and in the middle. On either side of its body are yellow bioluminescent bulbs, with whip-like tentacles attached. The purpose of these organs on the Reefback's underside serve an unknown purpose in its digestive system, and are capable of releasing small quantities of stomach enzymes into the surrounding waters. Although they could be the Leviathan's eyes, it remains unclear as the marine biologists believe it serves an unknown fluctuation in the digestive system. 2 siphon-esque structures that constantly expand and retract as the creature moves are located next to these bulbs. The Reefback will frequently emit a range of echoing, low-frequency calls. They will only emit these calls if there are other reefbacks nearby. Reefbacks are known to drift slowly around the open waters of many biomes, mostly seen swimming in pods of 2 or more. Adults can support many ecosystems on their back. These ecosystems include many types of flora and coral, along with other small fauna swimming in the vicinity. Fortunately, it feeds exclusively on plankton-like lifeforms in the water. The reefback species has likely been able to grow far larger than other herbivores because anything large enough to break through its shell has long since gone extinct. Similar in appearance to the algae glands of the gasopod, reefbacks' lifespans likely extend through many centuries, should they survive their initial growth cycle. For the first few decades, their smaller size would make them vulnerable to carnivorous leviathans. The Reaper Leviathan is an aggressive, 55 meters long leviathan and is found swimming through large, open areas such as the crash zone, dunes, and mountains. This creature has 4 caudal fins, 2 pectoral fins, 2 dorsal fins running the length of its back, and 2 ventral fins along a portion of its belly. Most of its fins, along with its back, are a red color with faint bioluminescence. Its skin is bluish-white and scarred from many fights. The Reaper's head is equipped with a ramming horn, a massive mouth, and 2 pairs of eyes with gray sclera. On either side of its face are 2 maroon mandibles, for 4 in total. They're tipped with large claws capable of locking prey in place and pulling it towards its jaw. The Reaper Leviathan emits terrifying echoing roars that double as a form of echolocation. If you can hear the roar, the Reaper can see you. This roar is so terrifying that our invisible cameraman freaked out. These sounds can be heard from great distances and serve to intimidate and locate prey. Despite its size, it is highly mobile, often circling prey for some time before launching a surprise attack, frequently from behind. This behavior, combined with its loud vocalization, contributes to its reputation as one of the most feared creatures in the ecosystem. The Reaper Leviathan is almost pure muscle, with minimal brain mass and no signs of empathy or restraint. Just instinct, synapses, and teeth, making it a top-tier predator. The Ghost Leviathan is a 110-meter Leviathan-class fauna species that is found in the Grand Reef and the Northern Blood Kelp Zone. The Ghost Leviathan has a transparent outer membrane covering a blue inner body. The inner body is long and thin, and covered in pulsating, bioluminescent orange stripes. Unlike the outer body, the inner body has a distinct, thin neck joining the head and body. It has 12 yellow bioluminescent eyes, as well as 6 fins on the torso section. A small sail sits on top of the head, and 2 long structures protrude from either side of its head. The giant cove tree is the nesting ground of this Leviathan species, with its massive glowing bulbs being their eggs. The Ghost Leviathan's life cycle begins in the Lost River as juveniles. They consume the ghost rays and river prowlers, and potentially other juveniles. As the Leviathans mature and become too large for their home, they migrate to the open, surface world biomes, such as the Grand Reef and Blood Kelp Zone, consuming ampeels and crab squids in the northern Blood Kelp Zone, and shoals of fish in the Grand Reef, until eventually migrating to the crater edge, roaming freely in the open water and constantly growing larger until they die. Adults of the species have been encountered exclusively around the edges of the volcanic crater, and react with extreme aggression on approach. Cartilage extensions of the creature's skull form a hammerhead, which protects the Ghost Leviathan as it performs devastating ramming attacks. While fully capable of tearing through the flesh of any creature in range, all evidence indicates that mature Ghost Leviathans feed on microscopic lifeforms in the waters around the edges of the inhabited zone. Their vicious attacks on interlopers to their domain are not predatory in nature, but territorial. When threatened, it can tense its entire body before lashing out with incredible speed. The Sea Dragon Leviathan is a 112-meter colossal Leviathan-class fauna found in the inactive lava zone and the lava lakes. The body is mostly dark green in color, along with purple accents on its limbs and head. Many of its body parts are spotted with orange bioluminescent glows, and many small spines line its lower jaw and arms. The head possesses 2 pairs of glowing orange eyes. It also has a second set of larger fin-like protrusions beneath its lower jaw. The Sea Dragon Leviathan has 2 long forearms, ending with webbed 4-digit hands. Each digit ends with a claw that is equal in size to a human's entire body. A large sail sits on the creature's back, just below the shoulders. Its rear side consists of 7 tentacles, also lined with orange spots, and ending with small tentacular clubs. It has protective plates on the underside of its body that start at the neck and run down to where the tentacles begin. Tissue analysis reveals the specimen consists of 1/3 inanimate materials. focused around the chest area. Consumption and retention of mineral substances may explain the lifeform's ability to withstand extreme temperatures. It even appears to be able to consume molten materials and expel them at its adversaries. Evolutionary distinct forearms are used for both propulsion and offense purposes. The sea dragon is likely one of the oldest species on the planet. As the largest carnivorous species encountered on 4-5-4-6b, almost everything is its potential prey. With few substantial targets in the volcanic cave system, the sea dragon likely ventures out into cooler waters to hunt other, smaller leviathans. The sea dragon's size, and the restrictions of the cave system they inhabit, suggest their population numbers are extremely low, perhaps even in the single digits. While it is not unusual for larger predators to sustain lower populations, it is possible the sea dragon's food sources have diminished over time. They may be nearing extinction.
Come here, to me.
The Sea Emperor Leviathan is the largest known living Leviathan-class fauna, measuring at 200 meters in length and residing deep within the crater. Its massive, stocky body is heavily armored and primarily pale brown, with hues of blue and green. Its head is comparatively small, equipped with 2 glowing green antennae, 2 large mandibles on either side of its mouth, and a set of forelimbs that resemble enormous, turtle-like fins. These are likely used for stabilization while swimming and possibly for defense. The rear of its body ends in 7 tentacles. An orifice located at the back is presumed to serve as an egg-laying canal. Unlike the similarly sized but more violent sea dragon leviathans, the Sea Emperor lacks hands and shows no signs of aggression, instead displaying remarkable intelligence and age. It is sapient and telepathic, capable of communicating mentally with other beings. Marine biologists estimate the specimen encountered is approximately 1,600 years old, well beyond the typical lifespan for its species, and its body is marked with extensive internal and external scar tissue. Despite its colossal size, it feeds exclusively on microorganisms filtered from the surrounding water, depending on a fragile ecological balance of plant and animal life to sustain its diet. In ancient times, sea emperors likely roamed the ocean trenches in small herds, occasionally surfacing to feast in microorganism-rich shallows, with reproduction occurring rarely, possibly only once in a lifetime, due to limited food supplies and specific environmental conditions necessary for successful egg-laying. Large ovary-like organs within its midsection suggest egg production. A critical function of the sea emperor is its production of enzyme 42. This enzyme is occasionally released into surrounding waters. However, the exact method of the enzyme's dispersal remains unknown. The glow whale is a passive, 30-meter Leviathan-class fauna. The glow whale's body is huge and ends in a fluke tail. Atop the head, a pair of translucent blue horns can be seen. These horns behave similarly to tuning forks. The horns receive waves of sound in the water and help glow whales identify members of their pod from a distance. This ability is also used in hunting shoals to determine positioning of potential food sources. On either side of the glow whale, 2 huge sail-like flippers extend diagonally upwards. At the tip of each flipper, a small pod is attached by a long tendril. On the underside of the body, directly below each of the flippers, is a far smaller fin. Barnacles and vegetation seem to thrive on various parts of the creature's body. Glow whales are often seen performing large gulps to consume shores of fish. They also contain several types of bioluminescence. Perhaps the most noteworthy are their photophores, which are bright glandular organs found at the corners of their eyes, and the pods at the tips of their sail-like pectoral fins. Glow whales move very slowly in large, open ocean with other glow whales. They can be seen doing deep dives with other whales, as well as periodically breaching the surface. When pods of whales are at play, they emit a harmonious series of notes that resonate in their horns, and release a series of chemicals that appear to create a joyful response in nearby whales. This note's frequency is too high to be heard by human ears. The Kellerate is a 40-meter aggressive Leviathan-class fauna species. It can be found in the tree spires, purple vents, and the East Arctic. The top side of the body is red in color, whilst the bottom is beige. The head accounts for around a third of the total body length, including its mandibles. The jaw is formed by 4 long mandibles that mesh together towards the back to form an inescapable jaw. Between the mandibles is a small beak-like mouth. The large mandibles of the Kellerate are composed of a bony material that crushes and saws through bones and muscles with ease. The mandibles open up while the backward-facing teeth dig into flesh and prevent easy escape. On the lower part of the head is a black eye with a smaller eye behind. The Kellerate's body is made of a thick, segmented exoskeleton. The exoskeleton grows in 12 flexible, overlapping plates. The first 6 plates feature long spines growing from the top. The second plate has a pair of long and thin-jointed fins. The bottom of the 8th and 9th plate have a transparent fin. These plates provide protection from the atmospheric pressure while giving the Kellerate the maneuverability to easily pursue prey. The body ends with a small tail. A separate version of the Kellerate exists in the void. A Kellerate found in this biome is 65 meters and has a white body that turns gray towards the head and the tail, with pale orange and brown patches. Its eyes are orange. The membrane between the spines on its back and fins is more transparent and is a light blue. Its tail is black as opposed to pink. Kellerates patrol a wide area, frequently attacking and consuming creatures such as cryptosuches and brute sharks that stray too close. On spotting potential prey, it will open its beak and charge, emitting a loud screech as it does. The Shadow Leviathan is a 60-meter-long species of Leviathan-class predator found in the Crystal Caves and the Fabricator Caverns. The Shadow Leviathan has a long black body with smooth skin and rows of 37 small red spots on either side. Below each row of red spots is a shorter row of 8 circular gill pores. The head is a triangular structure with 3 pairs of dark eyes. Beneath its smooth skin is thick head plating that is used as a battering ram to ward off competing shadow leviathans during mating season. The creature's mouth is located on its underside, just behind the head. It glows blue and is lined with curved teeth resembling a ribcage. This bioluminescent cavity attracts light-seeking phytoplankton, which in turn draw in larger fish. The shadow leviathan's mouth leads directly to its digestive tract, which secretes a highly acidic compound into captured prey. 7 pairs of jointed claws run down the sides of the mouth. These have spines along the inside edge to assist in securing prey. 7 more pairs of claws can be seen running down the body. Propulsion comes from the large fins on the rear portion of the shadow leviathan's body. Though lacking a tail fluke, a large fin is present around halfway down the body on both sides, the bottom fin having smaller fins in front of and behind it. The tail ends with a red point. Shadow leviathans do not attack small prey fish, such as the red featherfish, but will attack most hostile fauna like the brute shark and the Kellerate. The Iceworm is an aggressive 95-meter-long Leviathan-class fauna species that lives exclusively beneath the surface of the ice and does not swim. It is an ambush predator, highly sensitive to vibrations produced by movement or certain machinery on the ice, which it uses to locate prey. Upon surfacing, the Iceworm roars loudly before launching an attack. Notably, it preys on snow stalkers, suggesting they are a primary source of nutrition. I would like to give a quick thank you to our brave cameraman for enduring many snow stalker attacks while trying to capture footage of the Iceworm. The Iceworm travels just below the ice's surface, leaving a trail of pushed up snow and jets of steam in its wake. Its elongated body is armored with a thick exoskeleton on top, while its underside remains bare and unprotected. The underside is gray in color and lined with 2 rows of parapodia for gripping the ice. Beneath its upper plates are triangular, horizontally protruding plates with backward-facing spikes that function like tire treads that channel melted water backward as it burrows. The head features a massive plate that tapers into a thick, superheated horn used to melt through ice. This horn, the thickest part of the body, contains inner chambers filled with raw, alkali metals that react with water to generate heat via an exothermic chemical reaction. Microscopic grooves along the horn continuously feed water into these chambers, enabling it to tunnel effortlessly. Below the horn are 4 mouth parts lined with black spines, used with the horn to capture and kill prey. Its tail ends in a pair of long, thin spines. Scans of its skeleton show surprising flexibility, with bones capable of compressing inward, likely to avoid structural damage while burrowing. Evidence of muscle insertion suggests a system that controls this compression along its ribcage. Remarkably, iceworm carcasses are often left untouched by other predators, indicating that few creatures are willing to scavenge them after death. The Vent Garden is a 110-meter-long Leviathan-class fauna species, found in the Tree Spires biome. This massive organism remains stationary above hydrothermal vents, anchoring itself to the seafloor using 6 long tentacles that end in thick, curved hooks, allowing it to stay firmly in place. Its main body is round and features petal-like frills with a blue and yellow pattern, while the top supports a large, hollow, transparent bell-shaped structure with a narrow opening large enough for human entry. The underside of the vent garden houses a cone-shaped set of flaps that still shut when swimming, but open when positioned over a vent, allowing hot water to flow into its interior. Inside the bell, a large red seaweed-like structure sits at the center, above which is a glowing cone-shaped structure that emits a bright light at night. 6 long branches curve upward from the base of the bell, each supporting multiple plateau-like structures that serve as surfaces for aquatic flora to grow. These platforms resemble coral and host flora that absorb and synthesize heavy metals and gases emitted from the vents, while remaining protected from herbivorous fish. Between each pair of the vent garden tentacles is a glowing yellow circle, possibly functioning as eyes. The vent garden expels excess fluid through an opening at the top of the bell to maintain internal pressure. This stream is strong enough to push a person 15 meters upward. The vent garden feeds on thermophilic bacteria and microorganisms that rise from the vents below, drawing them in through its lower opening and housing them within its self-contained ecosystem. When the underside flaps are open, a person can swim inside the creature, exploring its vibrant interior. Planet 4546b, a beautiful world teeming with life in its endless oceans. A world where the deep hides ancient secrets and the shallows sparkle with wonder. Life here is as mysterious as it is breathtaking. But for every question we answer, dozens more rise from the depths. Who knows? Maybe you will uncover the latest ruler of the ocean.